Everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and as promised, I am back with a review for The Curse of Frankenstein. Yeah, this big old heavy duty bad boy right here from Hammer. This, of course, is the 4K box set. I did the unboxing last week, and I just wanted to follow up and say that yes, the 4Ks are region free, but the Blu-rays, unfortunately, they are region locked. So if you pick this setup and you're here in the States, you will need a region-free player. But if you're picking that setup and and you're a collector, you might seriously want to consider getting a region-free player, guys. They definitely come in very, very handy. Now, as far as the film goes, I'm so used to seeing Peter Cushing playing our protagonist. I haven't seen this is the first time watch for this particular film. I'm always used to seeing him play the protagonist. But seeing his portrayal of as Victor Frankenstein and seeing that dark journey that he goes on in his attempt to create life, he does a fantastic job. Just seeing him just throwing away his friendships, his love interest in the film, seeing him put all these things to the side and throwing all these things away in his search to create life. And it's the passion that he brings to that role is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. Christopher Lee playing the creature doesn't say anything, but every time that he's on screen with Cushing, it's magic. I've seen them before in films together, and it's electric then, and it's electric now. They're incredible, absolutely impeccable. These two together when they are on screen, and I like how we have Frankenstein's friend Paul, who's kind of like he's the voice of reason, trying to stop Victor. Like, hey, this is going too far now. I cannot be a part of this. I have to leave. I cannot be here with you anymore when you're doing this. When you're trying to create this abomination, as he puts it. And along the way we have Victor's love interest Elizabeth, who's in the film, and you can see that Paul is trying to protect her and trying to get her to leave. Like, hey, you don't want to be here, seeing what Victor's gonna, what he's attempting to do. But you can see there's also a little bit, there's a romance blooming between both of those characters as well. So, but seeing Cushing go down this path as Victor Frankenstein and willing to throw away his friendship with Paul, his love interest with Elizabeth, in order to accomplish what he is trying to accomplish. And I love it's if you're more used to the Universal portrayal with Boris Karloff playing Frankenstein's monster, this is completely a different departure. When Hammer goes all in, Hammer goes all in. And there are for a film this old, there are still some pretty tense, terrifying moments. It's the typical, Frankenstein story with some changes that Hammer does, add to their version of the story, but it's done well. And in an hour and 24 minutes, it just flew by. Nothing dragged in this film. Absolutely everything had a purpose. Every scene had a purpose, and I enjoyed every single moment of this one. It's one I'm definitely gonna have to go back and revisit again. But I love it how, like, Christopher Lee again as the monster doesn't say anything other than making noises, but everything is there. When he is sad, you feel it. You see it in his expression. A great portrayal by Christopher Lee. When he's angry, oh, you can tell that he is angry. And I really just, I can't say enough about this one. Pleasantly surprised, especially with, like I said, an older film, to just when you're watching it, just be sucked into the film, and just because you're seeing not just a great film, but you're seeing legends. Especially of the horror genre. Christopher Lee, an absolute legend. Peter Cushing, an absolute legend. And even the surrounding players that are with them in the film do a really, really, really good job. The back and forth between him and the actor who plays Paul, outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Seeing the good and the evil, Paul being the good, and Victor Frankenstein being the evil, and just the collision course, and seeing their friendship just fade away because of this. Absolutely standing. So guys, definitely, like I said, if you want to pick this one up and you want to get the, there is the Warner Archive version that you can get, and that one, yeah, you're not going to have any kind of region problems with that one. But this, guys, this is, if you're a fan of this film, this is the one to go with. And the restoration is outstanding, looks fantastic, sounds fantastic. Everything's still, when it needs to be dark, it's dark. When it needs to be colorful, it's colorful. Everything is, everything works very, very well with this particular restoration by Hammer. So, guys, I would definitely highly recommend picking this one up. Like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, guys, and I'll catch you in another episode. Take care.